Hello, friends, and welcome into College Football Now. I am your host, Tom Downey, back again with another set of college head coach candidates. Today we've got Ole Miss as they have fired head coach Matt Luke. Maybe not the world's biggest surprise given the reaction to, Luke when he was first hired. Goes 15-21 in his 3 years at his alma mater. Look, Luke loves Ole Miss. He's an alum. Didn't really get much of a chance after the Hugh Freeze disaster, fallout, scandal, whichever word you want to call there. It kind of makes some sense that I think Ole Miss can do better than Luke. I will give Luke credit. I think this program is in better shape than when it was where it was when he took over. I also don't really think he was the guy to get Ole Miss beyond being, one of the bottom teams in the SEC. So who will Ole Miss hire as its next head coach? Let us know in the comment section. But any name you want in there, I'll be sure to reply. Sure, we'll get some weird ones in there. We're going to run you through my top 10 list. At number 10, a name I know you guys know, Mike Leach at Washington State. He is by far one of the best personalities in sports. I think he would fit in Oxford. I don't think some of the jobs that have bigger cities, bigger markets, I don't think he fits that well. Oxford, though, I think he would work out. The offense, by the way, it'll be good regardless of the talent on that front. I am curious to see how he fits. I wonder if things are kind of starting to die down a little bit in Washington State. Things have not gone as well this year, but we know he's a good coach. I think for Ole Miss, a bit of a splash hire and a good one in the end. Number 9, Joe Brady, the passing game coordinator at LSU. By the way, I also think Dave Aranda, the DC, could make some sense here. Would be kind of funny, right? You hire an Ed Orgeron protege to come in at Ole Miss. Now, Brady is not technically the offensive coordinator. LSU has someone else in that position, but Brady's come in, and the offense has drastically changed, and Brady gets a lot of credit for that, I believe. However, Joe Brady's also just 30 years old, and before this, he was an analyst, basically, for the Saints. It's a pretty big and quick rise there. Is it too quick for Joe Brady? Maybe it is. Now, should Ole Miss hire a first-time head coach, or do you want someone with experience? Type 0 for yes, they should, 1 for no. If you're Ole Miss, I think with where the program currently sits, you will be able to hire a sitting head coach, probably at a group of 5 job. We'll get to several of those candidates here in a second, and that's the route I would go if I were in charge of this coaching search. We will go, though, to another current non-head coach. That is Clemson co-OC Jeff Scott. By the way, his fellow co-OC Tony Elliott, I also think would be an option here, but I think Scott might be a little bit better fit for Ole Miss. Now, he's a former Clemson recruiting coordinator, and we know how much it matters to be able to recruit in the SEC. Scott and Elliott and even Brent Venables, they all kind of fit that same mold of when are they actually going to leave Clemson? Is Ole Miss the right job for Jeff Scott? I think maybe it is. At the same time, is Jeff Scott the right guy for Ole Miss? I think they might be able to find a better coach, or at least has more experience as the head man. At number 7, that is Bill Clark of UAB. I cannot understate how impressed I have been by the job Bill Clark has done for the Blazers. This program shut down its football team for a couple of years, and Bill Clark was there and then stuck around. So he didn't just bail on the team. He stayed there as the head coach, hoping it would come back. He should have some interest for Power 5 jobs. I know UAB is not the best program, but Bill Clark continues to win there. I think you could do a lot worse than hiring a coach who has proven he can do it at a program like UAB. That thing was dead, and he brought it back to life. I was impressed by Bill Clark there. He's only number 7. I think there might be some better candidates, but he would be a good hire by Ole Miss. Now, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. They are the internet's #1 sports book. If you want to bet on college football, bet on NFL, bet on any sport out there, head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code CFB120. That gets you a 120% deposit bonus. So you put down $50, they're going to give you $60 for free. You are not going to find a better deal out there than the one on BetDSI. It's chatsports.com/bet. Number 6, who wants to get on the Lane train to Ole Miss? Now, his Power 5 stops, it's been, the Kiffin train. Or Lane train, that's what it's been there. But he is on the verge of his second 10-win season at Florida Atlantic. 11 wins his first year, kind of regressed his third year, bounced back after that. I think Kiffin is also in the mix, if not one of the favorites for the Arkansas job, so he might not be on this available list for much longer. And his career path has been crazy, right? You become the head coach of the Oakland Raiders. You barely last a year and a quarter. You get fired there. You go to Tennessee for 1 year, jump ship after a 7-6 season, go to USC, get fired on the tarmac. It was all kinds of disaster there for Kiffin, but he's gotten better, record-wise at each of his stops, from Oakland to Tennessee to USC to FAU. A very unorthodox career path, but maybe Kiffin has rehabbed his stock enough that it just makes enough sense, and I'll give him credit. He's a smart offensive mind. I mean, that Alabama quarterbacking room was not good when Kiffin was there. He had a ton of success in the end. Number 5, maybe a name you guys are not familiar with, and I wouldn't blame you at all, because he's the Charlotte head coach. That is Will Healy. In his first year with the 49ers, Charlotte, not San Francisco, he has them bowl eligible for the first time in that program's history. Now, his path has been pretty quick. Austin Peay was there, went from 0-11 to 8-4 in his first to second year. He's been impressive. My question is this. Charlotte, if you're ranking all of the FBS jobs, Charlotte's down pretty near the bottom. Is going to Ole Miss too big of a jump? I kind of think it might be, but I think you're going to see Healy get mentioned for a variety of jobs this offseason and then beyond if he chooses to stay for another year or two at Charlotte. Number 4, Willie Fritz of Tulane. This is the first time that Tulane is bowl eligible in back-to-back years since someone named Tommy Bowden was the head coach. That's how long it has been for Willie Fritz. Went 17-7 in his previous stop. The potential downside here for Fritz is he's already 59 years old. That's a little bit older than you typically want for a head coach, but I think he could be a good fit at Ole Miss. Number 3, Eli Drinkwitz. And maybe you worry a little bit here about the whole background of he's only been at App State for 1 year. Let's have them at 11-1. Meanwhile, Scott Satterfield's doing a really good job at Louisville, but that's, I think, more of a lateral move, so you can cross him off the list. Only 36 years old, but I think the job he's done this year and his previous record as an assistant should earn him at least consideration for a job like Ole Miss. Now, he's definitely younger, maybe a little bit inexperienced, the type of role that you want, but I think you could do a lot worse than going, you know what, let's go hire the App State head coach. Now, I know he's only been there for 1 year. 11-1, even with Satterfield's guys, I think is still pretty darn impressive. Now, today is Cyber Monday, and I've got a deal for you guys on Ole Miss apparel. It's at chatsports.com/NCAA gear, hoodies, shirts, quarter zips, pretty much everything you could want for Ole Miss is on sale, up to 50% off. That hoodie's up is 50% off right now. Chatsports.com/NCAA gear. And if you're an Ole Miss fan, if not an Ole Miss fan watching this video, they got other gear too. Same spot, chatsports.com/NCAA gear. Into the top 2, and I kind of like the top 2 a lot for Ole Miss. Billy Napier. He is 10-2 this year for the Raging Cajuns, and his background's pretty darn impressive. Bama wide receiver coach, Arizona State OC, Clemson OC, and he's only 40. I like Napier a lot. He's done a fantastic job this year with Louisiana and the Raging Cajuns. He is younger than you want, but if you miss out on number 1, who we'll get to in a second, because maybe he chooses to go somewhere else, I think Napier makes a lot of sense for Ole Miss, especially if you want an offensive mind. I don't know if they're going to go that route, but it's college football in 2019. Typically, you want the offensive mind to come in and give your team a big, big boost. At number 1, though, and I think a pretty clear-cut number 1 in terms of desire and maybe even possibility, is Mike Norvell. Now, the last time this job was opened, it depends on who you listen to, right? The Ole Miss people were like, he wasn't a candidate. There's something background off the field, which I haven't heard anything, actual true about. And then if you believe the national guys, Norvell didn't want the job because Ole Miss was in a state of turmoil, for lack of a better word. Since that time at Memphis when Norvell was still young and winning with Justin Fuentes, guys, he's done nothing but win and win big. He has Memphis in fantastic shape this year. He's won at least games every single year. It is a jump from Memphis to Ole Miss, but he's a proven winner, a smart offensive mind, and I think you can fix, if you can call it a mistake or a miss, either way you want to go there, last time. I think getting Norvell for Ole Miss would be one of the best possible hires. But let me know, who do you guys think Ole Miss will hire as its head coach? I left off quite a few names that I considered there. One note here, by the way, promoting Mike McIntyre or Rich Rod, the coordinators for Ole Miss, bad idea. I don't think the Rebels should even consider that. Go get somebody else who wasn't on this staff previously. And if you want to mention Hugh Freeze, no, I don't think that one's going to happen either. But let me know in the comments who you think Ole Miss is going to hire as its next head coach.